Do we have an idea globally how we're doing in terms of the students that we're producing? Is there a way to measure that as opposed to what's happening in Europe or Japan or China? Is there any kind, I don't know if there's standardized testing at the collegiate level. Is there any way to know how we're competing? I mean, we talk about international students coming here, which is a good sign.
It depends who you ask. I'm personally skeptical about comparing. Just had a very nice dinner last night, dinner conversation last night about a similar issue, and we're talking about, how do you measure how different countries are doing against each other? And I guess it depends on what you value. I mean, if you value economics, then you should look at the economies of those countries and go from there. If you value the arts, I suppose you can look at the arts. You can look at all sorts of different things. I think some countries are very, very good at say, for instance, math education. I think when we worry quite often. The U.S. always gets worried when we find out we're, 97th in math or whatever it is. And I don't think any of us are jumping up and down saying, oh, that's, go USA when we hear that. But it's maybe a mistake to think that and I'm just speaking for myself personally here, it may be a mistake to think that the goal needs to be for us to be, number 1, 2, or 3 on that specific test or measure, because to me what we get in America is frankly it's a sign of intellectual irreverence, I think, is what we teach here. We're a liberal arts institution. I know that you find a lot of support for that at this table, and I think what you learn from that is not necessarily a specific thing. I don't know that there's a test that's going to measure how one institution or country does against each other. It's about learning how to think and how to question, and you have to look at broader societal measures to decide what you think about that.
I think if you look at market demand, and again, I can't quote a lot of statistics on this, but the fact that 13% of our students come from abroad. You mentioned about an eighth of your students.
Yes.
It's the United States higher education is a destination for people around the world, and so that says something right there about the quality of education in the United States. Similarly, we encourage our students to study abroad, but typically that's like a semester, perhaps a year, because we want them to gain international experience. But they're not typically leaving the U.S. to go pursue 4-year degrees overseas. Most of the United States students are earning their degrees domestically. So I think the market says something about the quality of the education in the United States.
And in a previous life, I was in international programs. I traveled around the world, and the thing that always kept coming back, why universities there wanted to partner with American universities, why they wanted to send students here and so forth, they always said, look, we're good at this, but what higher ed in America does better than anywhere in the world is it creates an environment where students can be innovative and creative and really entrepreneurial in the broadest sense, not just economically, but in general. And that's what we're not good at and we need. And I think that's still true. I think we have the finest higher education system in the world. And I think no matter what statistic you look at, if you put them all together, as Mike was referencing, we're a destination for the world in terms of higher ed, not the other way around.